Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to make this beautiful Granny Stitch crochet bandana. It's a very cute one, very quick and easy project, but also something very dominant in terms of accessorizing. And this bandana has this cute little scallop on the edge, which makes it stand out. And also it's made of the Brazilian flag colors. And I picked this inspiration off Pinterest. I have been seeing so many people creating designs out of the Brazilian flag colors. And then also I noticed that so many of you guys loved my mesh crochet bandana that I already have on the channel. I'll be leaving it on the screen so that if you don't like the Granny Stitch design, you can check out the mesh crochet bandana that I did some years back that people have fallen in love with, which I didn't expect. So today we're going to use 4 colors, that is white, blue, yellow, and green. And I already have a written pattern for this design on all my online shops. You can check it out if you wish to grab a copy. And yeah, so 4 colors, and I just decided to have 4 rows of white, 5 rows of blue, and then 7 rows of yellow, and then 2 rows of green, and then the edging color to be the same as the final row. But feel free to place your colors the way you want. You can do 2 rows or 1 row. And when you make this design, make sure you tag me in your finished piece. I would love to see the recreations of this piece on your end. And then the piece also has this cute strap. It's not just a plain chain. I'll be teaching you how to do these straps in this video. And then if you're a small size, you can double this bandana as a top by placing a strap here, and then you can wear it as a halter top. But if you wish to make a halter top out of this, but you're a larger size, I'll be recommending a video on the screen that you can follow and create a halter top in this style for yourself, a fitted halter top at that. So let's get into class. So for the materials, as I had mentioned, I have my colors here: white, blue, yellow, and green. That's how I'm going to place my colors. And then I'm also using a 3mm crochet hook. I'll need a darning needle. I will also need a pair of scissors, and that's it. Yarn, hook, darning needle, and scissors. That's all that you'll need for this design. And we're going to start off with our base color. Our very first color is the white color, the one in the middle of the base of the triangle. For this pattern, you just create a normal triangle and then create scallops. So to start your project, you're going to start off with a slip knot. And guys, you can use any yarn of your choice for this project. I won't be dictating the yarn that you'll need. You're going to create a slip knot and make a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have our 5 chains here. You're going to go into the very first chain that you created with a shell, and a shell for this pattern is yarn over 3 double crochets into the chain, 1, 2, and 3, and then make a chain of 2 and 3 more double crochets into the same exact chain. So that will count as a shell. A shell for this pattern is 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. And then you're going to make a chain of 1 and go into the same exact chain with 1 double crochet. And we are done with row 1. That's what row 1 will look like. We're going on to row 2. You're going to make a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then turn your work. The chain of 4 counts as a double crochet chain 1. And then you're going to go into the very first chain 1 space with 3 double crochets, and then you're going to make a chain of 1, and into the chain 2 space you're going to go in there with a shell. And as I had mentioned earlier, a shell is 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into the same exact space. And then you're going to make a chain of 1, skip over the next 3 double crochets, and into the chain 4 space you're going to go in there with 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, chain 1, and 1 double crochet into the same exact space. So we begin our rows with a chain of 4 and end our rows with a chain 1 double crochet. So the chain of 4 at the beginning of the row counts as a double crochet, chain 1. That's why we end our row with a chain 1 double crochet, just to balance what we have on this side of the triangle with what we have on this side. So this is what we have for row 2. Row 3, you're going to make a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet, chain 1, turn your work. Into the chain 1 space, you're going to go in there with 3 double crochets. After your 3 double crochets, you make a chain of 1, and then 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. And then you're going to make a chain of 1, and into the chain 2 space at the top of the triangle you always place a shell after chaining 1. So it's a chain 1, a shell into the chain 2 space, and a shell is 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into the same chain 2 space. So this is going to maintain the top corner of the triangle, as you can see here. And then you're going to make a chain of 1, and into the chain 1 space you're going to go in there with 3 double crochets. So for this pattern, we're not going into the stitches, we're going into the chain spaces. Whether you're placing a shell or 3 double crochets, you're going to go into the chain spaces. So 3 double crochets here, chain 1, and into the last chain 4 space you're going to go in there with 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet into the same exact space. So just as I had mentioned, this is how we end our rows when it comes to the granny stitch. So we've just placed a double crochet in here, and it has created a chain 1 space here, just as we have a chain 4 at the beginning of the row. So we're going on to row 4. You're going to make a chain of 4, turn your work. This is how we begin our rows. And then into the very first chain 1 space you're going to place 3 double crochets, and after 3 double crochets you're going to make a chain of 1. And then if it's a chain 1 space, you only place 3 double crochets. Okay, so chain 1, because these are 3 double crochets. After 3 double crochets you make a chain of 1. So these are 3 double crochets. Now I've made a chain of 1, and this is a chain 1 space, and every chain 1 space gets 3 double crochets. And after 3 double crochets you make a chain of 1, and this is a chain 2 space. So the chain 2 space at the top of the triangle always gets a shell. So after a chain of 1 here, and this is a chain 2 space, so we are going to place a shell into the chain 2 space at the top of the triangle, and a shell is 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. I think this is the best way I can explain the pattern. And just like that, we have our shell placed. And after this shell, you're going to make a chain of 1. And this is a chain 1 space, meaning it's going to get 3 double crochets because it's a chain 1 space, and every chain 1 space gets 3 double crochets. And after 3 double crochets, you make a chain of 1. The next space is a chain 1 space, so we shall go in there with 3 double crochets. And after 3 double crochets, you make a chain of 1. And then you're going to skip. The next one is a chain 4 space. So the space at the end of the row gets 3 double crochets. Chain 1, and then into the same space you're going to place another double crochet there to end your row. So that's the row that we are basically going to repeat. So for me, I am going to only make a total of 4 rows for my very first color, and then I'm going to show you how to switch colors, and then you can build your triangle to any size. So you're going to make a chain of 1. I'm now switching colors. You make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn, pull through, and now you're going to introduce your next color. For me, that is the blue color, as you can see on my actual piece. After white, I went to blue. I'm following the same exact color placement as my inspirational photos. So you're going to make a slip knot, and then you're going to attach your yarn where you left off your previous color into that double crochet next to the tail. You're going to attach your next color. You can use any color of your choice, by the way. So this is me teaching you how to switch colors. So after attaching your yarn, you're going to make a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet chain 1. Into the very first chain 1 space, you're going to go in there with 3 double crochets. So we are basically repeating the same exact process that we did for row 4, but with a different color. So after your 3 double crochets, make a chain of 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. After every 3 double crochets, you're going to make a chain of 1 and 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. Chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. So the next space is a chain of 2 at the top of the triangle, but after 3 double crochets, you make a chain of 1. And then this is a chain of 2, which is at the top of the triangle. So I'm going to place a shell into the chain 2 space in the middle of the triangle. So 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets, which is our shell. And then after the shell, you're going to make a chain of 1, and into the chain 1 space, you're going to place 3 double crochets. So we're just going to mirror exactly what we have on the opposite side. Just look and see exactly what you did here and mirror it onto this side. So chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. Chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. Chain 1, and into the last chain 4 space, you're going to go in there with 3 double crochets. Chain 1 and 1 more double crochet into the same exact space. Alright guys, now this is row 5, and now that you know how to build your triangle is going to keep getting bigger and bigger, and you're going to work your triangle until the base is 2 inches less than your head circumference. Just tie the measuring tape around your head, like the way you're going to tie the what is it called, the bandana. Get that circumference. For me, mine is 21 inches, so 2 inches less than the circumference of your head. So if you have 22 inches, take off 2 inches. So you're going to take the measurement at the base of your triangle. You're going to keep growing your triangle until the base measures 2 inches less than your actual circumference where the bandana is going to sit. So for me, I'm going to work until I have a total of 19 inches at the base of my triangle. So we now know how to build our triangle. You just make a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet chain 1, turn your work, and into the chain 1 space you're going to double crochet 3 times. So the process is the same again and again, and feel free to switch colors whenever you feel like. Feel free to play around with different colors, different color combinations. And yeah, I'll meet you back when I have my 19 inches or until my triangle grows to my desired size, and then I'll show you how to create that cute scalloped edge that wraps up the project, this one. So keep growing your triangle, and as I had mentioned, I did 4 rows, 4 rows of white, 5 rows of blue, 7 rows of yellow, and then 2 rows of green before creating the scallop. So do what you have to do in order to get your desired size for your bandana. Okay, so I have about 19 inches and this should be perfectly fine. So I'm going to get my hook, and at this point we are done with the Granny Stitch pattern for the bandana. But we are going to create some scallops. You know, I don't like leaving my edges to be on the actual stitch that I have used for my piece. So once you're done with this, you're going to make a chain of 1 and turn your work. So that means this is going to be the right side of your bandana. So you're going to go into the chain 1 space with 1 single crochet, and then make a chain of 3, and then place 3 more double crochets into the chain 1 space. And just like that, we've created our scallop, and you're going to go into the next chain 1 space with a single crochet. Then make a chain of 3 double crochets into the same chain 1 space, and then single crochet into the next chain 1 space. So you can see how the scallops are looking very pretty. You're going to continue to do this, chain 3 double crochets into the same chain 1 space, single crochet into the next chain 1 space. So repeat that all the way up, and I'll meet you back at the tip of the triangle. So these are the scallops that we are creating on the edges of our bandana, and they look really finished, and they don't look like the stitches are hanging at the end of the project. So let me go all the way up until I get to the tip of the triangle, and I'll show you what to do when you get to this point. Alright guys, now when you get to this point before the chain 2 space, you can see I've just placed 3 double crochets into the last chain 1 space. Now I'm going to go into the chain 2 space and place a single crochet, and then single crochet again in the same space, and then make a chain of 3, and into the same space I'm going to place my 3 double crochets, and then go into the chain 1 space after skipping the 3 double crochets here. That way we have balanced what we have on this side onto this side. So you can see how our bandana looks like at the tip. And then you're going to continue to just make a chain of 3 and 3 double crochets into the same chain 1 space, and single crochet into the next chain 1 space, just like that. So you're going to continue working this just like we did on the opposite side, but this time we are working it on the opposite side. This side we are done, and now we are working on the second half of our bandana, creating the cute scallops on the edges. Alright guys, we've come to the end of the scallop row. I've just placed 3 double crochets into the last chain 1 space here, and I'll go into the chain 4 space and place a single crochet, and that marks the end of the scallop row. When it comes to the base of our piece, I am not going to create an edging because I don't want to tamper with the contrasting colors that may go on the edge of the different colors. So just imagine I have made maybe a boundary of green, let me say. It's going to create that contrast between the blue and the green, and then the white and the green, and the yellow and green. So I think when it comes to the base of my bandana, I'm going to leave it as it is. I will just go ahead and weave in my ends, or I'm going to just make a double knot at this point, just like that. And then you can go ahead and just use a darning needle to weave in if you wish to have a much neater finish. But for me, I'm going to just clip it off using my pair of scissors. Just go to the ends of both the colors, because I taught you that we start the new color where the old color ended. So doing this is going to be a walkover. You can even choose to make a triple knot to make it even more secure. So just get rid of these loose ends in the best way possible. If you prefer to use a darning needle, please go ahead and use it. But for me, this is just fine. And I will use the darning needle on the middle tail, because that one doesn't have any other strand to tie. So I'm going to just go in and out of a few stitches to secure it a little bit more so that it doesn't unravel. And just like that, we are done. You can go ahead and cut off the loose end. And now we're going to create our straps. We're going to create our signature straps, because those are the straps that I prefer to have for my designs. So to make the strap, you're going to make a chain of 3. Of course, after the scallop row, you make a chain of 3, and into the same space, you're going to place a double crochet, and then make a chain of 3 and double crochet in between the 2 stitches from the previous row. Chain 3, double crochet in between the 2 stitches below. So that's how we are going to get that thick, sturdy strap that doesn't dig deep into the skin. So you're going to repeat this until you get your desired strap. For me, I think I'm going to go for about 25 segments of the strap. And by segments, I mean these. They're going to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm on my 10th. So far, I have a total of 10 segments for my strap. I think I'm going to do about 15. Since this is a bandana, you don't need it to be so long. So 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's see the segments we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So I think 15 segments are fine. I'm going to just make a chain of 1 and cut my yarn. I don't want the strap to be so thick, so this is just fine. And I will cut off the excess yarn a short distance away from the knot so that it doesn't unravel. So this is what we have for our very first strap, and then we are going to create our second strap. Let me first get rid of this tail. We're going to create our second strap on the opposite side. So you're going to just attach your yarn in the corner, the bottom corner of the bandana, and then make a chain of 3, and into the same space you're going to place a double crochet, and then continue to create the strap just as we did for our first one, and make sure you have the same exact number of segments for your strap as your first strap. So for me, the other side, I had a total of 15 segments, so that's what I'm aiming at for the second strap as well. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 more to go. Alright guys, we are done with our second strap. I'll make a chain of 1, cut my yarn, pull through, fasten off, and then cut off the excess strand a distance away from the knot. And this is what we have. At this point, I am through with my bandana, and I hope you've fallen in love with it as much as I have. I'm going to just get rid of this loose end using a darning needle, and that's basically it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Very simple, very easy, very workable, and very adjustable to your liking. You can use any colors of your choice. You can use your country flag colors. Feel free to do that, but for me, I was just going with a trend. But you can make this bandana in any color of your choice. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and don't forget to check out the written pattern on all my online shops, and I'll see you in my next video. Oh, another thing is you can attach a strap here and turn this bandana into a top. That's especially for the smaller sizes, but for the bigger sizes, we already have a tutorial of how you can create the triangle and actually turn it into a well-fitted top, whether you're a large size or a medium size. And I'll be leaving a video behind on the screen so that you can check it out and change this design into your desired design. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.